Paris is back in the spotlight after thousands of soldiers packed the StadeDeFrance neighborhood for the first day of BTS's concert series in the fashionable city. However, before the main concert begins, it is precisely the soundcheck session, which usually lasts a short time, that turns into one of the most memorable moments for fans. The cause was none other than the warm interaction between Jungkook and Jimin, which successfully made the whole stadium rumble. Since the morning, the atmosphere around the StadeDeFrance has been filled with a sea of army purple. Fans from various countries came with light sticks, banners, and special slogans to welcome BTS members. Many claim to have waited for hours just to be able to watch the soundcheck live, because the moment often presents a relaxed and natural side of the BTS members that is rarely seen during official concerts. When the stadium lights began to light up and the members one by one entered the stage to do a sound check, the cries of thousands of ARMY instantly filled the entire arena. However, the loudest cheers were heard when Jungkook and Jimin appeared side by side while waving to the audience. Both appear to be wearing casual clothes but still stylish, in accordance with the more casual atmosphere of the soundcheck compared to the main concert. Jungkook looks relaxed while carrying a microphone in hand, while Jimin occasionally smiles and greets fans who are in the front stands. The first moment that made the stadium immediately rumble happened when Jungkook walked up to Jimin, who was talking to the fans. Unexpectedly, Jungkook patted Jimin's shoulder with a big smile, made Jimin laugh, and replied to the joke with a funny expression that immediately provoked hysterical shouts from the entire stadium. Many fans admitted that the soundcheck atmosphere that day felt different because the interaction between the two looked very natural and full of warmth. The fan camera that recorded every second of the incident instantly went viral on various social media platforms in just a matter of minutes. Not stopping there, Jungkook and Jimin were seen walking together around the main stage several times while occasionally pointing towards the stands of the audience, carrying special banners for them. Every time the two stood side by side, the crowd's cheers grew louder until they filled the entire StadeDeFrance. One of ARMY's most talked about moments was when Jimin seemed to have trouble hearing instructions from the crew due to the audience being too loud. Jungkook then approached and conveyed something directly to Jimin while pointing towards the stage monitor. Jimin immediately nodded and laughed a little before continuing the soundcheck session. Such simple interactions may seem commonplace to some, but for many fans, it is precisely such small moments that become the most valuable memories. Soundcheck itself is known as one of the rare opportunities for fans to see the artists in a much more relaxed atmosphere. There is no full choreography, no elaborate stage concept, just the artists and fans enjoying the music together before the main show starts. That's why, when Jungkook and Jimin were seen joking with each other several times on stage, the atmosphere of the stadium turned even more festive. On one of the songs used for voice checking, Jungkook had changed the lyrics spontaneously while turning his head towards Jimin. Jimin, who realized this, immediately laughed while covering his face, while the ARMY throughout the stadium gave an incredible reaction. A short video of the moment immediately spread on social media and became one of the most talked about topics by BTS fans around the world. Not a few mentioned that the chemistry between Jungkook and Jimin has always managed to bring a warm atmosphere at every opportunity. Over the years, the two are known to have a very close friendship relationship, both on stage and behind the scenes. The closeness was again evident in Paris. While the other members were chatting with fans on different sides of the stage, Jungkook and Jimin were seen standing together several times while enjoying the view of the stands filled with a sea of purple ARMY bombs. The moment felt even more special because the StadeDeFrance is one of the most iconic stadiums in Europe. For BTS and ARMY, performing in a stadium of this size always brings its own emotions because it is a symbol of the long journey they have gone through together. When seeing thousands of fans filling the entire stadium even since the soundcheck session began, the BTS members seemed unable to hide their happiness. Jimin was seen staring at the top of the stands several times with a big smile, as if he couldn't believe that so many fans had come from different countries just to watch them perform. Jungkook raised his hands in the air several times to encourage the fans who kept chanting BTS's name. The atmosphere was even more festive when Jungkook and Jimin stood in the middle of the main stage and waved their hands together throughout the stadium. The audience cheers at that time were said to be one of the loudest during the soundcheck session. Many fans who attended in person admitted that they were horrified to hear how the sound of ARMY shouting filled the entire stadium. Some even say that the atmosphere already feels like a main concert when the official performance is still a few hours away. Social media was immediately filled with various uploads about Jungkook and Jimin's moments together in Paris. Keywords related to both quickly entered the ranks of trending topics in various countries. Fans shared photos, videos, and stories of their experiences while at the StadeDeFrance. Many have called Soundcheck Paris Day one of the best soundcheck sessions they have ever witnessed. There are also those who claim to have bought concert tickets since months ago and did not expect to get this impression experience. For ARMY, the togetherness of BTS members has always had a much greater meaning than just an appearance on stage. The relationship established over the years between the members of BTS is one of the main reasons why the group has a very strong bond with its fans. Jungkook and Jimin themselves have repeatedly shown how their friendship has developed over the course of BTS's career. From trainee days, debuting together, going on world tours, to performing in the world's biggest stadiums, the two always manage to bring moments that make fans smile. Paris Day 1 seems to be proof that the relationship remains as warm as ever. Towards the end of the soundcheck session, Jungkook and Jimin again stood side by side in the middle of the stage while looking at the entire stadium filled with purple light. They then bowed together as a form of thanks to the fans who had come early. The simple moment actually became one of the most shared images by the ARMY on social media. The sight of two BTS members standing in the middle of the StadeDeFrance with a sea of ARMY bombs in front of them is one of the most beautiful portraits from this year's tour. When the soundcheck session finally ended and the members left the stage, the audience cheers continued for several minutes. Not a few fans admitted that it was still difficult to believe what they had just witnessed. Even before the official concert began, Paris Day 1 had already managed to present one of the most memorable moments throughout the BTS tour this year. Now, videos and photos from the soundcheck are still circulating on social media and are the subject of conversation among ARMY Global. Many hope that similar moments will return in the following days during BTS's stay in Paris. One thing is for sure, Jungkook and Jimin's togetherness at the StadeDeFrance managed to leave a deep impression on thousands of fans who attended in person, as well as millions of ARMY who followed developments through social media. Paris Day 1 is not just about concert preparations. Paris Day 1 was about laughter, friendship, togetherness, and the incredible energy that can only be created when BTS and ARMY meet in the same place. And among all the moments that happened that day, the warm interaction between Jungkook and Jimin will continue to be remembered as one of the most special memories of the StadeDeFrance. When the stadium lights began to dim and the fans were preparing for the main concert, one thing was certain by the entire ARMY present there. Soundcheck Paris Day 1 has created its own little history, a moment that may only last a few minutes, but will continue to live in the memory of fans for many years to come. Jungkook and Jimin managed to turn an ordinary sound-checking session into an emotional experience that made the entire StadeDeFrance rumble with cheers, happiness, and love from ARMY around the world.